Our names are Chris and Steph, and we live on Pender Island in the Gulf Islands in beautiful British Columbia. Loving Off the Land is our 365-day challenge to ourselves to see if we can only eat what we catch, grow, harvest, or raise. We hope you enjoy following along with our journey.
So one of our favorite treats that we've made so far is chips, potato chips. And I got this really handy gadget from the New to You. And basically what you do is you just mandolin the potatoes and then you line them on this little sheet. And then you can season it a little bit before if you want. Sometimes we get fancy and put some rosemary and thyme on it and garlic, but we're just going to do salt for now. And then you take it just like that, pop it in the microwave, and you put it in for 3 minutes. And they taste like Lay's potato chips, I swear. So this is what they look like right out of the microwave for 3 minutes. And they literally crunch like a Lay's chip. No oil though, which is great. Delicious.
Hey guys, so last week we showed you our mushroom bucket and kind of how we put that together. And we actually did that at the beginning of last week, and now we're kind of at the end of week 3, so it's been about 11 days that this sat in the basement. And it's coming along nicely. So we get a little kind of peek in here. You can see that it's fully covered in white mycelium. It looks like mold, but that's kind of what you want coming on your mushrooms, and because it's in the bucket, it's still keeping it nice and moist on the inside. Now, you can also see through some of these tiny holes, we're actually starting to get some mushroom heads poking through. So we've had this bucket back outside, kind of in a little bit more light and with some more oxygen the last 2 days, and those are starting to come through. So eventually those will be huge, massive clumps, and you can sort of see they're coming through in different sizes. And we actually kind of want them to come through at different phases, so we can harvest the bigger ones first and then get a steady cycle of harvesting them. But if you look at some of these ones, are really cool. You can actually see just how tiny each one of those little, they're called pins, are, and each one of those will eventually turn into a nice big oyster mushroom. So I would say about half of them are starting to grow pins out of, which is pretty much what you would expect coming out of each hole, because it won't grow out all of them. So hopefully they grow pretty quick now, actually. So within another week, we should have some massive clumps off there to show you. And this week we'll also be trying a different method of sticking wood plugs into some logs that have been cut down as well, to try grow some shiitakes that way. And one of the other things we also have to make sure we do now, especially because it's still summer and it's hot out, is make sure that the mushrooms don't dry out. So we got a little spray bottle, so that'll get going, and you just kind of want to mist those probably about 2 or 3 times a day. They have moisture inside, but you just want to make sure that the mushroom pins and those caps don't dry out. So we'll just have that right next to the bucket and do that once or twice a day. And super simple, that's really all you need. And this will probably get us a good 10 pounds of oyster mushrooms coming out of there. So maybe we'll do a final weigh and let you guys know how much we get out of that one bucket. So while we're on the topic of mushrooms, I thought we'd show you guys the beforehand picture, but this is also an area kind of in this space up at the top of the property across from the coop, where we'll be putting in a little mushroom patch. It's going to be a little bit trickier, and if we plant them in the fall, they still won't be ready till spring. But we're going to try grow shiitakes up here, as well as morels, which are a little bit harder to grow. And we don't have the ideal trees, but we've got a couple arbutus, which is hardwood, and some Douglas firs, which aren't the best, but will hopefully be okay for it. And who knows if it'll work, but if it does, they actually become symbiotic with the tree, and they'll live together as long as the tree's living and probably produce mushrooms for at least 5 years. So hopefully this works. We're going to dig it out shortly and plant kind of in September once the rains start a bit, and then hopefully in the spring we'll start getting some mushrooms. So if you watch week 2, you know that our boat broke down last week, and the good news is it's not in the motor, it's in the leg, but it's still going to be pretty expensive to fix. And so the boat's out of the water. We're waiting on parts, which could take 3 weeks or so to come, which is far too long for what we need to be doing. Don't really have a choice. So legs off, we're waiting on parts. We're gonna have to borrow a friend's boat to go out and pick up our crab traps and our prawn traps that are still sitting out in the bay, and bring them in for now until we can get all this sorted out. So not ideal, but could be worse.
We decided quite early on that wheatgrass was one of the things that we were going to grow so that we could get some flour. Not tons, obviously, but we do get a little bit. This stuff has been freshly planted. We've picked a little bit out just for eating, and then flour into wheat. Here you can see. And then we use a wheat grinder to grind up the flour, and then it makes flour. And we also have the stevia here. I don't know if we've mentioned it much before, maybe in the interview, but it's gonna be our sugar replacement. So the leaves are super sweet, and then you can grind it up or cook with it, and it's like 10 times sweeter than sugar, I'd say.
How they respond to these little guys. Well, I did not think they were going to be scared of them. What the f. So these two ones are our bigger fat chickens. They're going to be our meat birds, and these ones are going to be our white little turkeys. These guys are so solid already.
They're little circles.
Roly polies. Well, the turkeys are coming to have a look.
Turkeys are so protective, it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, they're the
What
protectors. They
happens?
always do. Yeah, we didn't get them used to eating out of our hands at all, this group, eh? Take the stairs. Or go off that
You guys do it all the time. I can see your poop on every stair. Oh no.
Are they scared of them?
I think so.
This guy's got his feathers up. See how he raises his tail?
Yeah.
Look at his tail
Oh
go up.
my gosh. He is
Popping out, eh?
the man.
This one doesn't.
For sure that must be a female. And that's a male. Yeah.
How much do you think it weighs? What's your guess?
10 pounds.
10 pounds?
Yeah.
I would guess about that somewhere.
Yeah.
I want a 30-pound turkey. Yeah. 10 pounds maybe?
10 pounds?
10 pounds? Maybe we should leave him another week. His feathers are going back up. Look at him just raise up like that.
Don't attack me, buddy. Uh-oh. Who knows what that is?
Exploring. He wants the food.
You pig. So this is round 2 of trying to get the duckies in the pond. I think you could try and pick one up. I'm not going to because it's going to poop on me, I know it.
Oh, he's interesting.
Look, yeah, look at that. You need to go have a bath.
Yeah, they want to, don't they?
Yeah, they're very slowly coming. This is good. Yeah, you see it. You see it. Yeah. Yeah. Now you know, though.
Oh, nice pop.
That was so cute. Just getting angles.
Oh, this makes me so happy.
What?
What the hell? I didn't know they did that. What the fuck?
Oh my gosh, we need to give them treats. Give them treats.
Oh my god.
Can we make them synchronized swimmers?
What?
That's it for week 3. Thanks for watching, and hit the subscribe button down below to follow along with our journey. And we look forward to seeing you guys again next week.